Howdy, howdy, folks. Welcome to Babble with Bronies. I am your host. My name is Everlasting Joy, along with my good friends Twilight is Magic and Mr. Ben. We want to thank y'all for stopping by. For those of you who have never been here before, which is to say the vast majority of you, I'll give you guys a little bit of a warning. This is not your traditional podcast. We do things a bit different here. You guys have a lot of say in the matter. You are encouraged to give you're encouraged to play along, basically. Feel free to make comments. Feel free to say, I like that piece of art. Or if I propose a question, this is what I think, EJ. Please do. That's what we were founded on. What else was it I was going to say? Oh, before we get started, since a lot of you new guys, a lot of guys here are new, I want to give a huge thank you to the Cinema Equestria staff, because this also is going to lead into another point of mine. For those of you wondering, yes, we can now start talking about Rainbow Rocks because it aired on the 17th. And 24 hours have passed, so you're going to start seeing Rainbow Rocks art and content filter in here. It's now legal. One other thing, we will be restreaming Rainbow Rocks, the uncut DVD, on Wednesday, the 28th of October at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Rain Shadow, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. We will re-show it again on Wednesday, on the following day, the 29th, at... What time is it, Rain Shadow, on the Thursday stream? The Thursday stream is more for the European bronies, so if you want to catch it then. But I'll let Rain Shadow fill in the details there. Sorry about that, Matt. Rain Shadow knows more about it than I do, and, okay. Tuesday, October 28th at 7 p.m., and Wednesday, October 28th at 3 p.m. Thank you. But speaking of Rainbow Rocks, I want to give a huge thank you and praise to the Cinema Equestria staff for making October 17th our biggest day in history thus far, folks. Just to put things in perspective. Thanks, Rainbow Dash's best pony. To put things in perspective, at our peak time during the streaming, we had about 2,000 viewers on our stream? Yeah, 2,000 viewers. And let that sink in a little bit. So from me to the staff, I want to say a big, heartfelt thank you for putting everything that we have done together, starting from January 28th until then. Thank you. All right, we need to move on. Okay, still good. Only piece of news that I have in the Wakes today. The Crystal card game expansion has been... Crystal Games release date and images have been revealed by Interplay. Now, for this part, this is just the starter deck and a few... just the starter deck. But I'll read the article here. Interplay has just announced the release dates for the Crystal games. Release dates for the theme deck is set for November 21st and booster packs for December 5th. Each theme deck will have two main yada yada yada. Pre-release is scheduled for 11/14. Details are scarce, but Interplay is promising at least many locations for Canterlot Nights and maybe more. End quote. So anyway, if you're into the card games, you can get your check this article out. Get your pre-releases locked in. Pre-release is scheduled for November 14th, so you can get that in. Get that in now. Anyway, let's see here. I do have one last piece of news that I think needs to be needed to be said. Death Pony released this to us earlier in the week. Do you guys remember when I said Shapeways was that's what I'm looking for. When Shapeways was made that big contract with Hasbro concerning 3D print ponies. It's not my day today. I know. How about some good water? Good water. Anyway, the Death Pony now has a... you can buy his 3D print ponies now via this link, via Shapeways. So if you're interested in some of his designs, check them out. And I recommend you do. He does a lot of art. You've probably seen it around the pony sphere before. He's gone really scarce as of late, but some of it is he's still popping up every once in a while. Give him your support. He is worth the effort. I promise you that. Anyway, let's move on here. All right, folks, you know the role now. I have one video and art, but I'll let you guys vote. Video or art first? Should have ran an ad for good water during Rainbow Rocks. All I can hear then is, of course, the chat going, huh? Art, video, vid, art. We're sitting at a tie here. Art. And there's a tiebreaker, so I'm going to go with that. You guys want art first? You got art first. Which one do I want to share first? Okay, let's start off with this one. This one I got from a recommendation from Tim, Twilight is Magic, for those of you who don't know. This one is titled Star Mom by Paintrolier. I hope I pronounced that right. Paintrolier. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, check this out. What caught me with this one was the fact that this is a very interesting art style. And that's what I loved so much about it. It combines a very... how do I want to say it? A very interesting brush design, along with a very interesting just design itself. Elongated, kind of almost cubic, I want to say. Like going down that road, but not completely going down that road. And I kind of like this. I like this. It keeps the realism, but it doesn't go overboard. Dark 92 Enigma. Dot, dot, dot. Hold that thought, Peanut Butter Brony. Why don't I go with this next one, titled Buttercup Baby PPG, Powerpuff Girls, titled Rarity Beanie. This was another Tim recommendation, and I'll balloon this up a little bit so you can get a good look at it. This one caught me because of the craftsmanship. Magnificently well done plushie. It is gorgeous. Now, I couldn't either, Tim. It just, this had to be said. A timidation. Timidation. I like that ice sticker. Rarity Beanie by Buttercup Baby PPG. All right. Let's go. All right, you guys need a comic. Especially the new guys, they need a comic. Let me bring him on.
Yellow?
Yellow. All right, which comic do you want to do, Tim? We've got quite a bit of them here. Lots of words, few words.
You pick.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. By the way, Team Explosion time.
It's Tim's Explosion time, folks. Let's go with... I hope he shows up. He's not here yet, but maybe he'll show up later. So why don't I pick on... Okay, I'll pick on this one, just because there's some good chatting with it. This is The Secret Life of Fleur Disley, number 2. We showed part 1 last Sunday, and this is a continuation of it. So we have... It's just a narration. So do you want to narrate, or should I?
I don't know, really.
Huh?
Do you want me? Or do you want to narrate it yourself?
I don't care. Again, your choice, man.
Throw a coin.
All right. I'm thinking of a number, 1 or 2.
Sure.
Okay, pick one.
2.
You won, so you read it.
Okay.
Before you go on, I'll recap. It was just an introduction, and in this case, we were left on a cliffhanger. So this is picking up from it. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Sure. Alright. You see, as a former royal guard, I'm sworn to protect Equestria from all threats. That means the safety of the citizens is my number one priority, even when I am not on duty. And that's when I met Fancy Pants. I saw him wandered obviously into an alleyway and was quickly, but not surprisingly, ambushed by a group of thugs. Luckily, I arrived just in time before they could do any harm to him. Although I took quite a beating back there, I managed to arrest them and escort Fancy Pants to safety. He offered to treat my injuries and asked if I'm interested in becoming his bodyguard. Seeing how clumsy he was when he is by himself, I agreed. That's it?
That is it. The Secret Life of Fleur de Sleep, number 2. Anything you want to say before we get back to the commenting and stuff?
Well, I like the reversal of the normal perception of the dynamic of this pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, Fleur is seen as a kind of trophy wife, and Fancy Pants is seen as a kind of rich and successful guy, but in this case, Fleur is a badass guard, and Fancy Pants is kind of rich but helpless. And Fleur kind of takes the lead in a way. At least in a way. I like it.
I like it too. What I liked about this, and I knew this was going to go somewhere this way, I was honestly expecting a spy, but I think this works out a lot better.
Me too.
It's mostly because it just avoids that. It avoids that spy cliche there right off the bat. So, and it makes sense.
It's the typical expectation subversion or aversion that makes it work so well.
It is. It really is.
It's not a new trick, but it works very well.
Well, there are no original ideas.
Nihil novus sub soli. Nothing new under the sun.
Exactly. All right. Anything else, Tim?
Let's move on.
All right. With that, I'll see you in chat.
Sure.
All right, folks. How about... All right, this next one is a comic, but it's just a narrator. And it deserves to be said seriously. So I'm going to read it without Tim on. And I just want you guys to think about it. This one's titled, Just a Bit of Motivation by Johann's Robot. Practice even when you don't want to. Look for inspiration. Watch, listen, and admire artists. You'll mess up, make mistakes, but push through. It's okay to be disappointed with what you made. Keep working at it. Sad, anger, depressed, fight through it. Make something awesome. Art is about putting your heart in it. You may not make money off art, nor do it for a living. But make sure from time to time create something for someone. Quote, heavily inspired by Ira Glass's Advice to Beginners and Neil Gaiman's Make Good Art, both depicted by Zen pencils. Hope I pronounced those names correctly. Anyway, I wanted to put this one in just for the whole motivational bit. Sometimes that's all you need is to just once be told, keep going. By someone, anyway. Someone other than yourself. Alright. Okay, we're going to go with this next one titled The Celestia Protocol by Tim Splosion. And it's an animation, so there's no... so there are no words to be said. But anyway, enjoy. Sorry about the size, folks. I can't really do that much about it. Anyway. Sorry about that. Anyway. Yeah, one of the reasons why I give the link to you guys outside of crediting the creator is this way you can see it for your own eyes. It's much better up here, much better on your screens than it is me projecting it to you. All right. I think we have pretty much just a literal couple of things of non-comics left. So let's bring Tim back on and get a few more comics going here.
Hello again.
Sadly, I still don't see him anywhere. Colt. Oh well. We're going to do his comic. This one is Splash Damage by Colt Steel Stallion.
Oh, yes. I remembered.
You want Pinky or Mod?
Mod.
All right. So I'll start. You ready?
Sure.
Warming up my voice here, folks.
Pinking up.
Come on, Mod. Let's have a quick time. It sure is fun.
Boing, boing, boing. You go, Pinky. I don't like getting my mind wet.
Okie dokie dokie. Whee! Swoosh.
Dots, 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 dots. Wah, 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 wah.
All I have to say is, what did you expect, Maud? What did you expect?
Well, she is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
With a wet mane.
Well, they all do. You know that.
Yeah, show me a pony who's not pretty with a wet mane. Try to.
Don't worry, they'll find it. They always do.
They'll make one.
Exactly. Mr. Ben.
Meow. Meow.
Don't worry, we have that to take care of today as well. Albeit there's no Mr. Mumbles in there, unfortunately.
Oh, I'll let him.
Anyway, let us go on to another comic while we're here. How about this one by our good friend Ice Sticker? Now, before I get to this one, folks, I want to apologize to Ice Sticker himself because I forgot about this one last week. Yeah. This one's titled Only a Game by Ice Sticker. The only thing I can say about this one is team killers.
Oh, yes.
Ugh! They seriously deserve to be punished in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, we have Trixie and Sunset Shimmer. Who do you want?
That's a good question. I can do a better Trixie, I think. So give me Trixie.
Okay. Let me think. I'm trying to remember Sunset Shimmer's voice.
I'll just wing it.
Okay, ready? I believe I start.
I think I start.
I think
Trixie
you're
starts.
right. I think you're right. Go ahead.
This place seems to be good.
Is the dungeon down there, Trixie?
No.
Then what? Then what is here good for?
Getting revenge.
Trixie, what are you doing?
Bzzz. Bzzz.
You. That was my last life, Trixie. That was my. What the hey, Trixie? That was my last life.
Only Trixie gets the glory from beating the final boss.
Ugh. Team killers.
You know, I think I should have picked Sunset Shimmer because Team Killers would have been even funnier. But I couldn't resist Trixie.
I cannot roll my R's though, so that was probably better that you did it anyway, though.
Yeah, that's why I picked her.
All right, here is the link. Hang on.
Sure.
I'm just reading Ice's lines here. It was supposed to be Trixie and Twilight, but I didn't want to draw Twilight's hair, so I used Best Pony instead. I like that.
Well, Sunset is nice.
Yeah.
Can't help but love her.
No. Dark 92. Well, that's how Sunset became evil. You know,
Start of darkness.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Start of darkness.
All right. Let's move on.
Let's.
See you back in the chat then?
Sure.
Very funny, Dark 92 Enigma. All right. Since he's here, so you think you can win the audition by my brony side? Quote, this is my first Equestria Girls human form that I've ever made, and first cartoon human ever made as well, so milestone on that. I like the look of Adagio's attitude and the antagonist she seems to be playing as in the new Rainbow Rocks film. I have yet to see the movie, And I love puns, especially with names. She seems like the perfect person to start for creating human figures, so please critique and all that. I'd appreciate it. This is my way of celebrating my first anniversary on DeviantArt. Funny how these things seem to line up. October 1st, 2014. First human drawn and first anniversary on DeviantArt. Nostalgia is great in a year from now. Anyway, I think you did a good job on this one, man. Yeah, no kidding. Good form, good setup. Can't really complain about anything here. For your first human, well, Equestria Girls style anyway, I think you did a pretty darn good job. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, ice sticker that is those puns. Ow, ow, ow. All right, let's move on before Arya gets mad. Let's see here. Oh boy. Let's go with this next one titled Perils of a Delivery Mare by Harwicks. This one was done for Applejack Appreciation Day. Quote, Happy AJ Appreciation Day, everyone. Even though I'm insanely busy with things and my... I always seem to have an AJ image in at least some stage of completion, so I couldn't help but hastily finish this one off and add it to the annual celebration of the most dependable of ponies. End quote. He then goes on to kind of give some details about AJ and what he thinks of her, but I'll let you guys read that. I'm glad he picked this scene because I can't wait to get to this episode. I really can't. This is like one of my top 5 favorites of season 4 right here was this episode. One thing I do like that sorry for the yawning there. I like his setup with the Chimera actually. It feels almost Disney-like of all things. That is a bit strange given his styling. So, I say strange in the sense of unusual. I like it. Yeah, Rain Shadow. It's one of my. It's like top. It's somewhere in the top 5. I want to say 3, but yeah, I love the episode. Some Pony to Watch Over Me, a lot. My brony side. That's terrible. Eh. Let's go with this one. This one's titled Flower by Diamond Rose. Now, if I wanted to do that Dark 92 Enigma, I would. I'm not going to for the sake of time, but anyway, let's read this one. It's a silent comic, so that's why I didn't bring Tim on. Quote, sometimes the best medicine is knowing someone cares. End quote. All right. Two comics and talks time. We're going with the comics first. And I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Ben. But yes, we are so bringing you into this conversation because we have quite a number of people. And call the group. I'm trying to get Mr. Ben in here, guys, because it's what we're doing is Dan versus Bronies, the intro part 3 by Ed Awato, and there are a lot of there's a lot to it. But anyway, for some harebrained reason, I can't get this call. Oh, we found the reason. Anyway, so I'm just going to get a drink of good water here. Yellow.
Yep.
Here, why don't we
I
just
guess
do
it's
this?
the old-fashioned way.
No, we'll do this. I have an idea.
The old-fashioned way.
Nope. Like so.
Much better. It works.
Hello, Mr. Ben.
Hiya.
Hey.
Also, I need to get my stream muted.
All right, this is Dan versus Bronies, the introduction, part 3. Now, for this one, we just have Chris and Dan, so who wants it?
Leave me with Chris.
Okay.
I guess it leaves me with Dan. Okay.
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 Okie dokie.
Okie dokie then. Dan starts.
Forget it. We're not taking the plane. Nah, there's not a chance in hell you'll get me on a... You know, Chris, I really hope we both survive this.
Really, Dan?
Yeah. So I can read for forcing on a plane!
Some hours later.
Hang on. Yeah, several hours later. Thank you for covering that.
Well, that plane crash went surprisingly well.
You got lucky. This time.
Good night, Dan.
Shut up.
That was awesome. Part 3. Now then, part 4. We'll be concluding the introduction next week, and we'll be continuing the series on from there on. All right, now there are in this one just the bouncer at the door. I'll take him.
Sure.
It's funny, there was someone in the comments, and obviously, yeah, but, quote, statistically speaking, you're safer in a plane than a car.
Yeah, I've heard about that. That's...
Yes, you are.
All right. I believe it's...
I start.
Yeah, I believe Chris starts. Go ahead.
On your mark, right? The day is finally here. The big comic convention.
It looks just like they advertised.
Munch, munch.
Good morning, eh? Tickets, please.
Hey, hang on. You're that border guard from Canada.
Oh, sorry. Didn't recognize you there. How you two been, eh?
That's none of your business.
Bing.
What's up with that shirt of yours anyway?
Oh, you see, this is...
Forget it. Let's through you, baboon. Space monkeys.
Have a nice day, eh?
Actually, I'm also wondering what's up with that shirt.
Irrelevant. We've got more important matters, like the Space Monkey Overlord sculpture.
I wonder how much they cost.
Doesn't matter. Because, Chris, I'm telling you, whatever the cost is, it's gonna be worth it. What?
Dum dum dum.
What's going on?
And it's only going to get funnier from here, folks. I assure you. Anything you guys want to say about this? What we've done today on this comic?
That Twilight plushie.
Go back and read the first two
That
myself.
face.
Your face.
Yes, my face.
Couldn't resist. Yeah, that Twilight plushie is pretty darn cute.
And murderers.
What's funny is there's a reason for all of this, and it's it's just gold. It really is. Space monkeys from outer space. All right, you guys ready for you guys ready to carry on then?
Sure.
All right, I'll see you in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Back.
All right, folks. Last of the comics and of the art, and then we move to music, of course. Out from the Shadows by Toxic Mario. Let me bring him in, see if he's in this time. It's football season, and I like the way I think it was Vest. It was Vest or Ice. Maybe it was both of them put it. When it comes to talks, it's sports, then ponies. I think there was a third one that superseded. No, sports, weather, ponies. That's it. Anyway.
Oh man.
Yellow.
Yeah, I'm here.
So tell us more about Out from the Shadows.
Whoa,
Toxic
whoa, whoa.
Mario.
This is the Weird Luna picture that I've been saving for about a week or so. I told people about it last week, and this picture, I'm not gonna lie, is definitely one of my. It's one of my more interesting pictures to do because what happens is every year I keep trying to redo this picture,
Mhm.
and what I do is I did one from 2012 like this one. I did one last year from like this one, and then I redid it from I redid it again for this time around, and I actually got a lot of better proportions right in this one, and I basically just keep revamping the same picture year and year and year, just because I want to see just how much I can improve on it.
Would you ever do a some different, a different style, a different pose, or anything like that?
Well, I do. The only thing is with these, I keep it the same for just this specific picture because I keep redoing it every year and year and year. Then I have my other ones I do, which are obviously different poses and stuff like that. But this is just one that I like to see how much I can better on it every year. And like this is going to be, I'm trying to think. This one's going to be around through I think 2015, at least this particular picture,
Wow.
until I redo it next October. So I'll sell this one at its conventions. I just haven't decided if I want to make this one into a print. I haven't decided that yet. But no, overall, I'm very, very pleased with the way this came out. It looked like it was me a very rough picture with the very faint background rocks, but it began. It really began taking shape once it started adding that really big foreground rock and stuff like that.
I admit that your proportions are a lot better this time around. You can look back and see it. It's really nice.
Yeah. I remember in the other one I did last year, I basically I made the head connected to where, if you want to say the butt region, was not. It was basically not even. It was like her head was facing one way, and then the back of the body was like the other way. It was just really oddly proportioned. I made the wings way too big. It's just like the other picture I had last year was really off. But this one, I've been cleaning it up more and more and more.
Definitely.
And
it's a good job.
Yeah, it is. And okay, it's kind of funny that Twilight is Magic is he's making all the debt plot stuff.
Everyone is, man.
It can't help it, but that's the only reason. It's the only reason why is because it's just the bigger thighs and the bigger body would give that appearance no matter what I do to it. It's just the muscled up body. It's like that's the I can't do anything about it. But I mean, overall though, I'm really pleased with the thing how this came out. The only thing I always have a really annoying, the only thing that's really annoying on these is when I try and print these out, is how dark this thing looks. I mean, if I printed that thing out as is, it would come out so dark. But what I haven't decided yet is if I want to put in money to turn this one into a banner and replace the one that I made in May. So I mean, I don't know if I really want to overturn banners that quickly though.
I can't imagine those are cheap.
The banner stand isn't, but the banner itself would be around 70. But at the same time, I am trying to budget my money right because I have one more convention, which is Cider Fest, which I'll bring this one to, for example. But it's actually, it was kind of funny. Someone actually just said it's a bigger Luna out there. No, I just made the logs really tiny. I just made them like just more decomposed logs. But no, overall, and actually, it just looks bigger because it's really close up. But overall, no, I'm pretty pleased with the way this one came out. I got one more Weird Luna, and then it's done drawing her until 2015.
Mhm.
But next week I got a comic. And actually, next week's comic is practically the first legit Halloween themed comic I've done, besides Warrior Luna. It's the first legit Halloween comic I've done in about a year and almost 2 years, I'd say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to
Yeah,
showing it.
that's gonna be a good one. But yeah, no, that's like I said, I'm very pleased with the way this came out. This guy got right. Actually, everything turned out right with this. But the thing is, I can already see there is areas to improve this thing for next year. I mean, even looking at this right now,
Still.
I'm not gonna exactly say what the flaws are, but it's like I know I can see them.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I can always I can do that next year.
Definitely. Still, really nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Well, any last words, man?
No, except my Buffalo Bills beat your Minnesota Vikings.
Well, that's not saying much.
And I'm riding the high from that. If I seem excited right now or really hyper, is because it's the way they won.
Well, someone has to win, and they got to win at least once.
And actually, someone did say for a weird than a picture doesn't look canine at all. Trust me, it's one of these things where I keep telling people when I designed her originally, the reason is I don't want to give her full blown, like really thick fur or paws. And it's like I've seen ponies with paws before, and it's like it never looks right. I'm like, how do you get hooves and paws? And it's like it doesn't register right in my mind. And again, this design is way back from October 2011 when I made her,
Mhm.
and it's redesigned when I made the season 2 version in March 2012. It's just been more polishing her ever since then.
Well, it works.
But yeah.
All right. Sign out from here, and we'll see you in the chat.
Yeah, that's good. I'm good. I'm gonna go chill in the chat then.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys next week.
Later, Tox.
Here. Yep. Later, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toxic Mario. All right. Now this next video, thankfully I don't even, wow. I got all the links, but I didn't get this one. So excuse me for 1 minute as I pull up Sci-Fi Bronies, My Little Pony, celebrating 4 years of friendship, magic, and ponies. Wow, that's a new low for me. That really is. There we go. Now, Sci-Fi Bronies, My Little Pony friends, celebrating 4 years of magic, of friendship, magic, and ponies.
For every day I look around me, for every time I see you near, I thank the stars whose light surround
I need say nothing. I think your comments speak for themselves and for Sci-Fi Brony. That one was, I will say this, that one was for October 10th, the day Fim turned 4 years old, and the hub itself as well, but I digress. Anyway, y'all ready for the ponies, folks? Because I am.
I made it for you, Rarity. Why, yes, it is an ice cream house. Chocolate fudge shingles, rocky road garage. Huh? Twilight?
Oh, hi, Spike.
It's the middle of the night. Why are you pacing like this?
Frankly, I don't know how you can sleep at a time like this.
3 a.m.?
It's awful. It's horrible. It's tragic.
I don't understand. What's wrong?
Here, now do you see what's wrong?
We forgot to celebrate Arbor Day?
No. The problem is I just finished planning my schedule for the month, but I forgot to leave time to plan for next month. Don't you see? There's no time in my schedule to put together another schedule. I could move my meeting with the Ponyville Hay Board to the following Tuesday, but then I have to reschedule my lunch with Pinkie Pie, and you know what a nightmare she is with scheduling. This is an absolute disaster. My whole year could be thrown off.
And I woke up from an ice cream dream for this.
My little pony, my little pony. I used to wonder what friendship could be. Until you all shared its magic with me. Big adventure, tons of fun. A beautiful heart, faithful and strong. Sharing kindness, it's an easy feat. And magic makes it all complete. You have mine. Do you know you're all my very best friends? Oh my gosh, I think I did it. If I can find a way to read the Art of Invisibility spells and Thornhoof's Brief History of Canterlot at the same time, that could leave me a half-hour scheduling window. Huh? What's going on? Twilight, you've got to listen to me. Who are you? I mean, you're me, but I'm me too. How can there be two me's? It's not scientifically possible. You are not scientifically possible. Twilight, please. I have a very important message for you from the future. You're from the future? That's right. Now listen. What happened to you? The future must be awful. Please, I don't have much time. Is there some sort of epic pony war in the distant future or something? Actually, I'm from next Tuesday morning. But that's not important right now. I can't believe time travel is really possible. How did you, I figure it out? The time spells are in the Canterlot archives, but that's not... Really? Where? I've never seen them. They're in the Star Swirl the Bearded Wing. Now you have to listen to... Is time travel fun? Or does it hurt? I have so many questions. I have something extremely important to tell you about the future, and I only have a few seconds, so you've got to listen. Whatever you do... Future Twilight? Oh no! What was she trying to warn me about? Her clothes, her mane, that scar. Ugh, what a mess she is. I am. Or I will be. She must want me to prevent whatever horrible thing happens in the future. Come on, Fluttershy. The party can't start till the party supplies get there. Happy to help, but can I carry balloons next time? Listen, every pony, I've got something really important to say. This is no laughing matter. We have a crisis on our hooves. I've just been visited by myself from the future. future. This isn't a joke. My future self tried to warn me about a horrible disaster that's going to occur sometime before next Tuesday morning.
What kind of disaster?
I don't know. I got sucked back into the future before I could explain.
Whatever should we do, Twilight? How do we stop the disaster if we don't know what it is?
We'll just have to work together to make sure we're safe. Rainbow Dash, you and the other Pegasi spread out over Equestria and look for any kind of problem that could lead to a disaster. And I mean anything.
You got it!
Every pony else?
Any pony else want to panic with me? No?
Every pony else. Time to disaster-proof Equestria.
Yep.
Done and done and done. Applejack, what about the Everfree Forest?
The perimeter's clear.
Great.
And my team gave the all clear from Philadelphia to Las Pegasus.
Excellent. Well, we've done everything on the list. But still, future Twilight looked like she'd been through a horrible ordeal. I just have this nagging feeling we should be looking for something bigger than loose bolts and leaky pipes.
Okay, every pony, follow my lead.
What is that thing?
That's Cerberus. He's supposed to be guarding the gates of Tartaros. But if he's here, then all the ancient evil creatures that have been imprisoned there can escape and destroy Equestria.
Destroy Equestria?
Yeah! Isn't it great? Hey, Cerberus! You look like you could use some obedience training. Magic obedience training.
Who's the cute little three-headed dog?
Wow, I knew you were good with animals, but this is amazing.
Aw, he's just a big furry guy who got out of his yard, that's all. Right, Cerberus? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Pinky,
Yes, Twilight?
do you have a ball I can borrow?
I have balls stashed all over Ponyville, in case of ball emergency.
Hey, Cerberus! Look what I have! I'll be back as soon as I've returned him to the gates of Tartarus. Once he's back at home, there'll be no disaster.
I wish Twilight would go on epic adventures more often. Best night's sleep I've had in weeks. Hey, Twilight. How'd it go with Cerberus?
Great! I got him back before any of the evil creatures could escape. Oh no!
What's the big deal? It's just a lost dog flyer. I guess the princess hasn't heard we found Cerberus yet.
It's not that. It's this.
A paper cut? Come on, Twilight. You really need to toughen up. Just clean it out and you'll be fine.
The cut's in the exact same spot as the scar on future Twilight's cheek. We haven't changed the future at all. The disaster is still coming. If the disaster wasn't caused by Cerberus getting loose, then what could it possibly be?
I don't know, but maybe you ought to give the pacing a rest. You've worn a groove into the floor.
I don't have time for another one of your lectures, Spike. This is serious.
My lectures?
I did everything I could think of to change the future, but it didn't work. So maybe it's not what I do. Maybe it's what I don't do. If I stand right here and don't move a muscle until next Tuesday, I can't possibly do whatever it is that future Twilight wanted to warn me not to do.
Really? So, no matter what happens, you're not gonna move a muscle, huh? Then maybe you won't mind if I eat an entire tub of ice cream. Oh, so good.
Like, stop. Think of the stomachache.
Stomachache, huh? That's Future Spike's problem. Hey, Twilight! Another Pegasus just got back from Baltimore with an all clear and... What's going on? Aren't you gonna stop him? She sure isn't. In fact, she's not gonna move till next Tuesday. She thinks it'll prevent the disaster from happening. Oh, this is too rich. Hey, Twilight! There's a mouse right behind you! Wait! Let me try! Oh, no!
What happened?
I'm so sorry! I didn't mean to! It was a total accident!
Show me.
I'm not so sure that's a...
Show me! Oh no, this is the same main cut as Future Twilight.
You know, it really doesn't look too bad.
I don't care how it looks. It's just another sign that the future hasn't changed. Not doing anything didn't work either. Oh, I wish there was a way to know what was going to happen so I could stop it.
You want to see the future? I might know some pony who can help.
What's this?
It's Madam Pinky's place.
Madam Pinky?
Enter the chamber of Madame Pinkie Pie. For the answers you seek, let us consult the mystical orb of fate's destiny. Do you like my mystical orb of fate's destiny? I just got it. Cool, huh?
Yeah, best one I've seen.
Look deep into the crystal ball, for soon it will reveal all. Ah, yes, I see something. It is a vision of the future. I see you, Twilight. You will get a really cool birthday present next year.
Yes, and?
That's it.
Are you sure?
Yep, cool birthday present.
Pinky, I need your pinky sense to tell me what the impending disaster is that Future Twilight was trying to warn me about.
Oh, my fortune telling has nothing to do with my pinky sense, silly. It's only good for vague and immediate events. Like that. See? Where did that even come from? La 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 la. Gosh, I haven't seen Twilight since the flower pot incident. Hope she still isn't mad.
Off by 0.02 from yesterday. Carry the 15. Negative azimuth on the 14th moon.
Hey, Pinky.
Twilight's really serious about finding out about that cool birthday present, isn't she?
Who cares? As long as I can keep eating ice cream. Sorry, Future Spike. Oh,
Are you okay?
Ah, Pinky, I'm glad you're here. Can you help me recalibrate the apertures on the 9 1/4 catadioptric telescopes?
Sure.
So I was thinking, after I came to see Madam Pinky and the flower pot landed on my head, see the bandage, just like the bandage from the future?
Nice.
I had an epiphany after that flower pot. Doing things didn't work. Not doing things didn't work. And I couldn't predict the future either, so I only had one other choice. Monitor everything.
Makes sense to me.
That way, no matter what happens in the future, I'll be ready. I thought I saw something last night in the Horsehead Nebula, but after staring at it for 3 straight hours, I realized I was wrong.
3 hours? But when did you sleep?
Oh, I didn't sleep. I haven't slept since Future Twilight was here. There are only 3 days left until next Tuesday. I can sleep all I want after that.
you've been awake too long, Twilight.
Yeah, Tuesday's not 3 days from now. Tuesday's tomorrow.
Pinky, did you finish recalibrating the apertures on the 9 1/4 inch catadioptric telescopes?
I have no idea. Ow! My eye! Don't worry, Twilight. I have eye patches stashed all over Ponyville in case of eye patch emergency. There There! Now you look like a pirate. A sleepy pirate with a really weird mane cut.
The eye patch. Another sign. Nearly all the signs have come true. I haven't done a thing to prevent the catastrophe. If Tuesday's tomorrow and the disaster happens by Tuesday morning, then there's only one solution. I'll just have to stop time. Okay, the Canterlot archives are right over there. Let's move.
I don't think we need to sneak around, Twilight. It's not illegal to walk around Canterlot.
Guard! Come on, you guys. Oh, that was close.
I don't know why we have to wear these things either.
Aren't we wearing them for fun?
No, there's nothing fun about this.
Oh. Are you sure?
Focus, guys. The only way to prevent this disaster is to stop time. Time spells are kept in the Star Swirl, the Bearded Wing, the most secure section of the archives. That's why we're sneaking around.
Awesome! That sounds fun!
No, it's not fun.
Aww. I still don't understand how sneaking into the archives is gonna help her find out about her birthday present.
The coast is clear. Now slowly lift me into the window so we can...
Let's get this over with.
Okay, if my calculations are correct, the Star Swirl, the Bearded Wing should be right here.
Twilight,
What is it, Spike?
isn't this where we came in?
Cool! Can we climb in the window again? That was super fun.
I don't understand. It's supposed to be right here. How are we supposed to find it now?
Maybe we should ask some pony in the Star Swirl, the Bearded Wing.
Huh, how'd I miss that? Look at all those priceless magic scrolls. There are more than I ever imagined.
Twilight, the card!
What do we do? What do we do?
Hey, Twilight. Haven't seen you in a while. Let me open that for you.
Thanks. Oh no! Oh no! Look! I look just like future Twilight. The last sign has come true.
And that's bad, right?
Come on! It's almost Tuesday morning. The disaster could happen at any moment.
But how do we find the time-stopping spell? There must be a million scrolls here.
I don't know.
Twilight, it's over. It's officially Tuesday morning.
No! Tuesday morning, the disaster! Incoming!
I don't know, Twilight. I don't see any disasters. It looks like a pretty nice day.
Good morning, Twilight. Love the new hairstyle. Well, happy Tuesday.
Why isn't any pony surprised to see me sneaking around in here? Is it possible there never was a disaster? That I've just been making myself frantic over nothing?
I don't get it. If future Twilight wasn't warning you about a disaster, then what was she trying to tell you?
I don't know, but I do know one thing. I look ridiculous.
Yeah, you do.
And it's all because I couldn't stop worrying and let the future handle itself. Well, not anymore. From now on, I'm gonna solve problems as they come and stop worrying about every little thing.
That's great. Does that mean there won't be any more late-night pacing?
No more late night pacing. If only I had learned this lesson a week ago, we wouldn't have had to go through all this.
Twilight! I found something! It doesn't stop time, but it lets you go back in time. It says you can go back once, and it only lasts for a few moments. Does that help?
Pinky, you're a genius!
Woohoo!
Now I can go back and tell past Twilight that she doesn't need to go berserk with worry about a disaster that's never gonna come. Twilight, you've got to listen to me. Who are you? I mean, you're me, but I'm me too. How can there be two me's? It's not scientifically possible. You are not scientifically possible. Twilight, please. I have a very important message for you from the future. You're from the future? That's right. Now listen. What happened to you? The future must be awful. Please, I don't have much time. Is there some sort of epic pony war in the distant future or something? Actually, I'm from next Tuesday morning. But that's not important right now. I can't believe time travel is really possible. How did you... I figure it out. The time spells are in the Canterlot archives. But that's not... Really? Where? I've never seen them. They're in the Star Swirl the Bearded Wing. Now you have to listen to... Is time travel fun? Or does it hurt? I have so many questions. I have something extremely important to tell you about the future. And I only have a few seconds, so you've got to listen. Whatever you do, don't waste your time worrying about... I can't believe I just did that.
Did you tell her about the cool birthday present?
Remember last week when future Twilight came to warn me about something? That was me trying to warn myself not to worry so much. Now I'm gonna spend the next week freaking out about a disaster that doesn't even exist. Ugh.
Aw, don't worry about it. It's past Twilight's problem now.
I guess you're right, Pinky.
Oh, my stomach. I think it's all that ice cream. I thought the stomachache would be Future Spike's problem. But now I am Future Spike. Oh.
Come on, Future Spike. Let's get you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about time. While I'm getting set up here, of course, throw your initial first thoughts in. Sorry. Yes, Rainbow Dash's best pony. That would. At this point in time, though, of course, Twilight would not know of that. But, yeah. All right. I kind of want to save Cerberus for when we get to the season 4 finale, but I don't think I will. Let's talk about him here. We can talk about that. And the reason being is because A, it's going to be a long time before we get there. B, I want to, I think it would be better addressed here than there. So what do you guys have to say about Cerberus, that scene? I guess, obviously, if you have anything to say before that, feel free, but I don't. Right, right. Rainbow Dash's best pony. That was stated at that episode. In the season 4 finale, they specifically state that. There's one other episode down the road in season 3 that we're going to talk about, but we'll get there when we get there concerning this. Again. I've never seen a Cerberus plushie. Cerberus from this show. That would be cool. Okay, yeah, I do want to address that, Matt, but before we get there, I do have something I want to say about his design. I like this design. It not only does the three-headed dog motif well, but I like the fact that they kept Cerberus scary looking, yet not overdone. He looks like a guard dog proper, and I think that was a really good on the designer's behalf that they kept that. Now, of course, here's the next question concerning what Matt the Shadow Man was talking about here. Sort of, anyway. Here's a question that I would love to ask one of them now that I think of it, and I wish I would have thought of this back in June. I digress. It's About Time when Mr. Larson was writing this, was this Cerberus, was that a plan, or was that planned out, or was this just a red herring for this episode, having zero significance, only to be resurrected later on by Ms. McCarthy in the season 4 finale? What do you guys think? Matt. Yeah, it's a definite great callback. It really is. Hold that thought, Outbreak, because here, I guess I'm going to be jumping ahead here, folks. But it'll be worth it. The episode in season 3 I'm referring to is Keep Calm and Flutter On. Question. We know that Discord was originally planned to be used in season 4 as the guy who captured Tirek. So here's the question. Why would Discord need to be freed if that wasn't the reason? Where am I going with this? I do think that I agree with you guys. I think the Cerberus scene in this episode was not supposed to be anything special. It was just supposed to be a red herring. That being said, I think that to some degree, the season 4 finale was, that's what I'm looking for, planned out a little bit sooner than what everyone's thinking, even what I originally thought. Jumping ahead a little bit to keep calm and flutter on, Discord was released because he was needed in the season 4 finale. Celestia says it herself. I have use of Discord's magical abilities, which they eventually call back to in season 4. So I think, to some degree, they're both true. That this episode 20, was designed as just a red herring. But I think season 4 was being planned a little bit sooner than what we are imagining. They established Keep Calm and Flutter On to eventually lead into the season 4 finale. And I'd be willing to bet good money that had season 3 have been a full 26 episodes, we might have been seeing the season 4 finale as the season 3 finale. I could be wrong, but we're talking about what ifs here, so it's just a thought. Red Moon. To some degree, yes, Rainbow Dash is best pony. That there is some truth to that, but I wonder if some of it was eventually being planned, for season 4. I would agree with that, Mr. Ben. And we'll get there when we get there, but let's try and focus on episode 20 here. I just love all the traffic that goes by here. I really do. All right, let's just stop all the season fighting here, and let's move on. I think we've said all we can really say about this. So, what do you guys have to say about the scenes after that? Like, the signs that start to appear, and the Madam Pinky scene. What do you guys have to say about this stuff? Outbreak. It does, Rainbow Dash's best pony. Hoovy and Brony, you bring up a good point. It's a great callback to the Pinky Sense. Not the first time that this has happened this episode, or this season, but still, I like that it's another one of those things that I like about this show. And I know I've already said this, but once something is established, they've done a magnificent job calling back to it if they care to, of course. But yeah, I'll just throw that out there since we're on the subject. I'm trying to think back to his episodes, Rain Shadow. Let's see. Somewhat? Yes. To some extent, Matt the Shadow Man. To some extent. If anything, I think I'll say to some extent. And I only say to some extent only on the basis of it's not the main focus of the story. It's just a silly point. I do like how these signs start appearing myself. I'm kind of backtracking. We're going way off here, though, but I'll say it anyway. I like how these signs start appearing. I like how Pinky is, or Pinky, Twilight. A lot of these things just start appearing as if they were just a Saturday or a Wednesday or, whatever. And, so, the paper cut, those happen. Looking at the sun through a telescope, dangerous, but it happens. The falling flower pot, well, probably not going to happen, but yeah, they happen. What's really great about this, though, is we, the audience, don't know what's going to happen. We are expecting, to some degree, that, okay, what way is it going to go? Is it going to go the self-fulfilling prophecy route, which it does, or is it going to be one of those Twilight finds the problem and fixes it, thereby, of course, creating an ontological paradox, but I digress. Which way is it going to go? And slowly, we see these otherwise insignificant events just keep adding up to eventually bring about the self-fulfilling prophecy. It's actually kind of fun just seeing these rather insignificant events start adding up. Yeah, I was thinking of those, Rain Shadow, and yeah, it fell under, well, yeah, your claim was correct. Because that, of course, that episode gets called back to everything in season 4 and beyond, Rain Shadow. Well, since Magical Mystery Cure and then beyond that, but I digress. All right, what about the scenes in Canterlot? What do you have to say? Not that that's a bad thing, Matt the Shadow Man. Yeah, wow. You caught that one too, Dark 92 Enigma? What Dark 92 Enigma is referring to is there's a episode of The Fairly Odd Parents, whereas in they literally have Timmy walking in several... There are a couple episodes, actually, where we have him walking in a rut. Quite literally. I'll get back to that point, Twilight is Magic, because that's going to lead into my concluding points. Solid Snake, or the whole Metal Gear Solid series, for kids. No, really, I mean that in the sense of that's basically what this whole thing amounts to, at least in the sense of they how do I want to word this? They of course make as many callbacks to that series as possible. The suit, the eye patch, the sneaking around, the noise with the flashlight, the guard pony that has a flashlight on his, from his horn, he's shining a light. That noise comes from it. And where was it I was going to go? All of this stuff they have going on from a series that's not intended for them. I love this show. Yeah, no kidding there, Matt the Shadowman. That's a good point, though. I could go on and on about that movie and how it influenced Metal Gear Solid, but I won't. Yes, Styrigar. Hope I pronounced that right. If you really wanted to make the solid MGS reference, cardboard box. Cardboard box forever. Or the exclamation point above the head. And you wonder why I use that if I don't get a chance to say howdy to everyone when I enter. Do 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 do. Magic spark. Anything else you want to say now about the last scenes before we move to the episode summary, folks? Happy Tuesday. It's Sunday. Yeah, again, you wonder why I love her, Matt the Shadow Man? Mr. Ben, there's a comic out there. I can't remember who did it. But they took this very scene, had a future version of Doctor Who's appear out of the TARDIS, say like, oh, crap. Derby, you were right. I'm sorry. We got the wrong coordinates. He goes back. The future Who's goes off. And, of course, the crowd all looks at him and goes... And he goes, what? You're all still ridiculous. After earlier, he dismisses the time travel. He's like, time travel? How silly. Howdy, Night Fury. Well, Outbreak, can you really blame them? I mean, and heck, yeah, it's free publicity for them. I think they're okay with that. All right, episode summary, folks. What'd you think of it overall? What did you think of this episode overall? Rain. To me, the fun of this episode is it's a good story. Don't take this the wrong way, folks, but it's Mr. Larson's style. This is such a his styling episode. For those of you who weren't here when we did our episode or our writer discussion, which was a long time ago, we talked about how I made mention that Mr. Larson's episodes tend to be very story driven. He doesn't do a truckload of character development. This is another prime example of it. That being said, if you think I'm trying to say this episode sucks, far from it. The fun of it, as I said, is it's just a great story. I like the fact that he has, throughout this entire thing, Twilight kind of on a edge, kind of as a twitchy, neurotic, which is what I would expect out of her. I would expect her to be this hyper-organized neurotic who would try and micromanage and pin down everything to the smallest detail. That's the lesson of this episode. And I think he does a really good job of taking that concept and kind of running with it. In a metaphorical sense, of course. Running with it until we get this episode. Reading some of them. Yeah, monitor everything. Anyway, so the whole idea of Twilight going bananas over this, it so makes sense, and it is so funny. The other thing that I really like about this episode is the idea of Twilight going, how the events unfold. We're, of course, given this self-fulfilling prophecy. We're given, our don't. How do I want to word this? We're not given. We're given our premise, and these signs just start slowly appearing. Things just start. Well, the paper cut, the bad hairstyle, everything. It just starts to unfold. It's fun watching that. We've got Twilight panicking over it, and all these events are just slowly coming to pass. How they come to pass, as I said before, it's interesting. They're minor. They would normally not give two. We would not normally give two thoughts, but given what we've seen, we should, and that's pretty darn fun. Twilight is magic. Let's see. One other thing. Yeah, I know Tim has kind of already addressed this, but I'm going to address it here. I've seen a few people say that this episode is saying don't be organized or just let the future come as it does. I have to somewhat disagree with that. The only reason I do is because I don't think that's what they were going for. Twilight hasn't changed since in the sense of being organized. And more importantly, of course, they do state it. No more late night pacing. Just let the future come as it does. It's the lesson of this episode is to say it's okay to be organized. Don't take it to an extreme. Overall, exactly, Matt the Shadow Man. Perfectly put. The loyal brony, that too. Personally, though, this episode, as good as it is, it's not the greatest. To me, nothing really stood out in the sense of big or, flashy or things that I need to take note of. It's a lot like Luna Eclipsed, another episode he wrote. It plays itself conservatively. It doesn't try and really do anything. It becomes more significant later on as time goes on, as we've already discussed, and we'll see. But, for what it's worth, this episode to me is a lot like Cutie Mark Chronicles. It's great, but it's not going to break into my top 10 at the end of this season. But we'll get there when we get there. It's a high-tier rainy day episode. And yes, there's a reason I posted the title of this Babble with Bronies episode time and time again. Because we'll be coming back to it time and time again. One last time, anyway. Bear in mind that that's just my opinion outbreak, so... Well, I do think it's about time that we wrap this up, if no one has anything left to say. Okay, outbreak, I like that. One more spot, one more plug for good water. Good water. All right, wrapping this up. Next week, we're planning on doing Dragon Quest. So stop on by. That one, I've got a lot of good things to say about. So yeah, let's have some fun, shall we? Like usual. Until then, Mr. Ben. Till then, we will see y'all later. So on behalf of myself, Twilight is Magic, and Mr. Ben, we want to thank everyone for stopping on by. And until then, farewell.